Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana. We're here today with travel expert Katy Rockett, who's here to share with us the rise of active travel. So, are you looking to book your next great adventure? Well, Explore Worldwide's travel and adventure expert Katy Rockett's here to share with us the new trends and hot places you want to visit. So Katy Rockett joined Explore Worldwide in January, bringing 15 years of experience in adventure travel, coming directly from General Manager and Director of Growth roles at Exodus Travel, and having previously held senior marketing positions with both Exodus and Intrepid Travel. Based in Toronto, Katy will facilitate the business's ambitious global growth plans and focus on delivering exceptional tours, customer service, and marketing activity across the region. So let's welcome to the show, Katy Rockett.
Hi, Marianne. Thank you so much for having me.
What a delight it is to have you get in to talk about this. So the rise of active travel, what is that?
Active travel, yeah, it sounds like a bit of a scary concept, but it's honestly one of my very favorite ways to travel. It's getting out there and being physically active when you travel on vacation. And the idea is, we operate small group tours with Explore Worldwide, which is a company that I work for. And in those tours, you get to go and see the culture of destinations and really get immersed in a destination. But one style of travel that we offer is active trips. And that comes in two forms. We offer walking and trekking trips, or we also offer cycling trips. Obviously, very different in the nature of activity. But what they really both allow is for you to transport yourself through a destination at your own pace. And then this allows you to really immerse yourself in a destination when you're traveling and really get that kind of up close and personal experience while also being physically active. We offer a few different styles. So we have, a center-based trip where you're staying in the same accommodation during the duration of it. And then we also offer point to point where you're literally, walking or cycling from hotel to hotel during your journey. The really fun part about this is that you're accompanied by a local group, a group of other travelers and a local leader. So you have other travelers who are with you participating in the activity, and you have a local leader who really takes all of the logistics out of it. They handle, making sure that you are all going at a pace that's reasonable for the group and safe for everybody. They take care of where the best lunch spots are, where the best spots to stop along the way are, to really get that full experience when you're traveling. Your luggage is transported, so you don't have to worry about that. And of course, we built in some rest days so that you have time to relax and enjoy as well. And it's not all just about the physical activity.
So this is okay for people of all activity levels because it sounds like you may have some folks that are really up for challenges and take those all the time, and maybe those that are just starting out.
Absolutely. We also offer a real range of tours, and each of them are graded by difficulty. So, right from the get go, you get a sense of what's involved. We have some that are more leisurely pace, which is really appealing to your first time active traveler or someone who really just wants to take a slow pace. You might be really physically fit, but just, want to take a bit of a slower pace during the journey. And we have some that are definitely more physically challenging. So if you are really quite physically fit or really just want that personal challenge, we have a range of options for everybody.
So what are some of the top locations right now that you're seeing people be really active in?
I mean, we offer active trips all over the world. Europe is definitely a very popular destination. Obviously, it's very safe to travel there. There's so much culture and beautiful landscapes to experience as well. So one of our most popular trips, that's a cycling trip, for example, is cycling in Provence. This is a beautiful trip that allows you to get into the classic French countryside, experience some vineyards, really just get under the skin. Amazing, enjoying the amazing cuisines that France has to offer, and then just really taking in those magnificent landscapes, chateaus, etc., during the course of the journey. And then, from a walking perspective, our most popular trip by far is the walking the Amalfi Coast. This is an incredible trip. It has the Walk of the Gods, which is an iconic walk in Italy. It allows you time to go into Pompeii, which is this wonderful historical site that was completely covered by a volcano and just frozen in time, and they've excavated it and unearthed this wonderful, incredible city that you can walk around and explore. That, like I said, has really just been frozen in time. So we have, a lot of different trips in all of these destinations, but those are definitely two of the most popular that we're seeing lately.
I was so surprised to hear that 50% of travelers from the US are doing this type of travel.
Yes, it's a really rising trend that we've seen. And I think it's really come out particularly during the pandemic. I think people gained a real appreciation for travel in general, and the value, but they also wanted to just get more out of vacations. And that trend hasn't stopped. We're a few years past that now, fortunately. But it's really withstood that growth. And I think, we've seen a lot of growth, particularly in cycling. That's grown by about 75% year over year for us through our business. And it's really incredible. And I think part of that is the popularity of e-bikes. E-bikes have made cycling as an activity far more approachable, and accessible to people. It allows people of different abilities. Say there's two friends and one's really fit and quite a cyclist, and the other not so much, but they want to enjoy the activity together. The e-bike helps make that possible. And so almost all of our cycling trips offer the opportunity to upgrade to an e-bike. And we do actually have some e-bike only departures. So I think that prevalence and that, just making that style of travel more accessible is really drawing people to this way of traveling.
Well, on that note, we're going to pause here for a quick break. We've been speaking with travel expert Katy Rockett in regards to adventure travel. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
There comes a moment when you realize you're somewhere special. When you discover that each beautiful creature that you see has been rescued from a life of absolute horror and brought to this incredibly free place. Here's where their lives were forever changed and where yours will as well. Discover over 500 tigers, bears, and lions at the brand new visitor center at the Wild Animal Sanctuary just outside Denver. For more information, visit wildanimalsanctuary.org. Discover true freedom at the Wild Animal Sanctuary.
It's one thing to become attached to your perfect home, but what do you do when that home becomes attached to you? A family in dire need of a fresh start, a mysterious house tied to the past. Buried deep within the foundation of the old Far Hill Manor lies a centuries-old secret. Dark forces or something stronger just waiting to be discovered. Caretaker, a supernatural thriller by breakout authors R.J. Halpert.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking. Working with people from every walk of life, her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge. Teaching beyond conventional wisdom, her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com.
I'd like to thank Jason Eastwood at Guitarfulness for sharing his inspiring music and talent with us. His music is known worldwide for cultivating atmospheres of harmony, inner peace, and clarity. Visit Jason's website at guitarfulness.com. Join his newsletter, be part of his community, and download his music. Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. We're here today with travel expert Katy Rockett, who's here to share with us adventure travel. Now, before we left for break, we were talking about using e-bikes for adventure travel. Is that something that's provided for the people that book through you?
Yeah, so the e-bike is, if you're choosing an e-bike only itinerary, then absolutely that's included in the cost. Otherwise, it's an additional cost, but it's not much, and allows you again just to have access to that bike throughout. So it's great. The e-bikes are great because you can still get that physical challenge. You're still pushing yourself. It's definitely not a walk in the park by any means. But it really just gives you that extra boost, helps you get up the hills, which can be challenging. Or if you're just getting a bit tired and just want to, take a little bit of a break or just kind of rest a bit, the e-bike helps you just kind of carry you along the way.
Thank goodness for the e-bikes, I'm telling you. You know? So when we talk about active travel, I mean, I know you're such an expert at this. What are some of the benefits that we receive from it?
Oh, there's so many. And I've done a few active travel trips myself, and I can tell you that you just come back feeling so rewarded. There's Part of it is the immersion of the senses. You get in there, and not only are you seeing the beautiful scenery and destinations, but you're smelling the smells of nature around you. You get to hear the sounds of, cicadas chirping in the trees as you're cycling or walking past. You really just get that full immersive experience, really. And you also get to go, into places and into destinations that you wouldn't otherwise if you were just on a private vehicle or public transport. You really get into these little areas of the destinations that just simply wouldn't be possible otherwise. I think the other great thing, is just, in the group environment, you get that chance to connect with other travelers. You've got the local leader who's giving you that, understanding of the destination and teaching you about the culture and the language and, the country that you're visiting. So you get that full immersion in that sense as well. But realistically, you get to be physically fit. So many times on vacations we go and it's so tempting to sit on a beach and relax and sort of overindulge in all the wonderful things in life, which is definitely a time and a place for that. That's for sure. But doing an active trip, you walk away from it having that personal accomplishment. You have that sense of completion. You're coming back in great shape because you've just been pushing yourself physically for the last little bit, and it just really provides that all around benefit.
I just love how it allows us to be so connected to nature, being able to get out because not everyone wants to do a trip where it's kind of centered around food and drink, you know?
You're absolutely right. And that's what I love about the active trips, that you just get that balance. You get the food and the drink, you get to experience the destination that you're traveling to. But like you said, that connection with nature, and there's that very popular concept of forest bathing. There's so much to be said for just fully being surrounded by nature and reconnecting and understanding just sort of, where the earth is and where the creatures of the world are. And we so often become disconnected with that in our day-to-day lives. So having an opportunity to do that in your travels really is quite rewarding and really just enriching for the soul as well.
So, what was your favorite place to go cycling?
Oh, that's a great question. I've done a cycling trip in California, which was very, very fun. But I'd have to say Iceland was probably my favorite that I did. I took this on, admittedly, when I was about 4 months pregnant, which I probably wouldn't recommend as the ideal time to do a cycling trip for the first time. But I think it gave me an interesting perspective because I wasn't able to train the same way going into it as I would have otherwise. But during that trip, it started a little bit hard for me for sure. I was lucky, all cycling trips are accompanied by a support vehicle, so that if you do need a break at any point, you can hop in the vehicle, and sort of catch up with the group at another time. So it's nice to have that built in. But I think, for me, it was really that physical challenge of it. I mean, you go on and you see yourself getting physically stronger as the trip progresses. And I mean, Iceland is such a wonderful destination. The headwinds, the winds are very challenging, and that was a lesson that I learned. But honestly, it was such a spectacular trip and just gave me such a different appreciation for a destination that I'd actually visited previously. I just saw it in a completely different set of eyes.
So, how do you prepare for an active vacation?
That's a great question. It really depends on the grade of trip that you pick. So, as I mentioned, all trips are always graded in terms of difficulty, and they'll give you an indication of what you'll need to do to prepare. If you're doing a walking trip, you probably don't need to do a whole lot. Going out for a walk, definitely seeking out routes that have hills, so you're using different muscle groups is always beneficial. And just keeping yourself moving and active physically leading up to a trip is always beneficial. If you're doing a walking trip that's a bit more strenuous or requires changes in altitude, then you'll definitely want to do a little bit more in terms of preparing your lungs for that. And then cycling trips, it's really just about getting used to the long rides. I think people are used to doing maybe short distances on a bike, but you really have to sort of build your muscles up to that endurance and going through. So a lot of our moderate graded cycling trips, for example, are around 30 to 50 miles a day. So if you're comfortable with that, and obviously you're taking breaks and lots of time to rest, but really just making sure you're good for that sort of long distance ride. And then also, of course, hills are essential for preparing for a cycling trip.
Oh my goodness, Katie, you're such an inspiration. I just love hearing about all the trips and how we can prepare and get ready. Where can our listeners go to go ahead and sign up for an active trip right now?
You'll definitely want to check out our website where we have all of our trips available. You can do that by visiting www.exploreworldwide.com.
Well, Katy, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you, Katy. You're such a wealth of information when it comes to travel. I'm so glad that we got to spend this time together. Make sure to book your next adventure travel with Explore Worldwide at exploreworldwide.com. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Mary Ann, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Mary Ann is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Mary Ann will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmaryann.com for more information.